Brantford Mayor Kevin Davis is back to talk about what's happening around the city. Thanks so much for joining us.
Emily, thank you very much for having me.
So I know we wanted to start off with the Great Lakes Summit that's happening next week in Milwaukee, that you're talking about the future of fresh water there. What's going on?
Well, the Great Lakes Cities Initiative, it brings together mayors and city officials from across the Great Lakes Basin. And it was originally established to deal with water issues like water management, water protection, water conservation. But over the last year, with the current circumstances, it's kind of morphed into becoming a vehicle for mayors and city officials on both sides of the border to come together and talk about what we can do to not only deal with the environment, but also to better protect the watershed and also how to promote prosperity and the cross-border flow, hopefully tariff-free, of goods and products.
That is
so
ideal.
it's a great opportunity to build friendships and alliances with mayors and civic officials in the cities that also are in the Great Lakes Basin.
Yeah. What are you hoping will happen at this conference?
Well, there are a couple of different issues that are important to Brantford. One, I said previously, we have a problem in the Grand River watershed with rising nitrate levels. It's not yet a crisis, but it's a growing threat, and we have to deal with it now before it becomes a crisis. And it's not unique to Brantford and the Grand River watershed. It's being dealt with, I know, across the entire Great Lakes Basin. So I hope to be able to exchange information and understand what best practices are in other jurisdictions. And hopefully we can also create a growing movement to deal with nitrates in the entire Great Lakes Basin. Kind of similar to what happened with acid rain.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you're in Milwaukee. You're going to be making another stop as well. SC Johnson's headquarters. We have a factory here in Brantford.
Well, the world headquarters of SC Johnson, just outside of Milwaukee. And SC Johnson has been in Brantford for over 100 years. It's a great corporate citizen. It's one of the largest producers of personal care products in the world. And we've had a great partnership with SC Johnson in Brantford for over 100 years. But that, there was a threat to that last year. And city officials and SC Johnson officials, we worked hard to create the right conditions for SC Johnson to stay in Brantford. And so I'm going to take the opportunity to visit the world headquarters to express my appreciation and also discuss with the senior executives at World Headquarters, what it is we can do to strengthen that partnership in Brantford, because, they are just an outstanding corporate citizen. Any community would be lucky to have them in their community. And we want to make sure that they stay in Brantford. And, part of that is showing appreciation for what it is they do.
Of course, in this time we're talking about American companies in Canada sort of being up in the air.
Yeah, isn't that a great story to tell at this time, that, there can be this cross-border flow of companies and goods, and with companies that are based out of the States, but they locate here in Ontario because it makes a lot of sense. And to be able to promote that, because I don't think that, although we want to, diversify our trade in Canada, the United States will still be our #1 trading partner. And despite what's happening in Washington, I think we have to focus on how we can improve and strengthen that relationship, and also what we can do to diversify.
I want to ask you also about Trump's 100% tariff on movies that are not made in the States. I mean, there's been a lot of criticism about how exactly that's going to work, but Brantford's a major shooting location for a lot of films and TV.
Yeah, Brantford and the county of Brant and Paris. Like, for example, if you watch the recent series Reacher, the first 5 minutes, that's filmed in downtown Brantford.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, it's been a growing part of our local economy. And certainly we hope the federal government will take steps to protect it. And it's not just for Brantford. Hamilton
as well, absolutely.
Hamilton, Toronto.
Burlington, there's been some shots done lately.
Exactly. And so that industry does employ a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. We have around a minute left. I understand you have a bit of a teaser for us coming up for Brantford.
Yeah, we're hoping in the next month or two that there are going to be some new plant openings. In the food processing industry, which that's our largest growing sector of our local economy, and it's a great to have in your local economy because it's relatively stable, assuming CUSMA remains in place as is, and so there'll be some great news for Brantford following the news last month about Ferrero.
Amazing. Well, we're looking forward to that announcement. We'll be back with you again next month to check that out as it's happening. Thanks so much for your time today, Mayor.
Thanks, Emily.